What I'm going to walk you guys through today is something that less than 1% of business owners fully understand. So I want you guys to make sure that you lean in. You can take pictures, but I will also be giving my slides later because it's really the true way to get from being self-employed to becoming a true business owner. So are you guys ready? Is ready for that? Okay, so first thing though is I will have to admit I am an introvert, which means after this you guys won't see me the whole afternoon because I'm going to be hiding in my Airbnb. But I did bring a friend to do a little intro. Go ahead and introduce Leanne to Vietnam Nomad Fest.
All right, Vietnam Nomad Fest. Let's kick things off with a little honesty. Leanne is an introvert. That's why she's having me introduce her instead of doing it herself. But don't be fooled. She's not shy. She's just really good at outsourcing, which, if you know her, makes perfect sense. Now, I could have spent hours crafting this intro, but since Leanne is an AI consultant, I let ChatGPT do it. So if this is the best intro you've ever heard, that's AI at work. If not, well, blame Leanne. So who is she? A serial entrepreneur, AI consultant, podcast host, newly published author, and an award-winning business leader. Basically, she's not humble, she's just really productive. And she's done all this before turning 30, while some of us are still figuring out how to reply to emails. Coming all the way from the Philippines, she started her career in 2011 and copy for clients. Then she became a video editor, a designer, a VA, basically did every digital job that exists until she realized, wait, I could just build businesses instead. Now she runs and consults for 5 companies, including a book publishing company, a software development firm, an AI cold outreach agency, and her 2 companies, Create AI Consulting, where she helps businesses integrate AI into their operations. 2XU, a premium executive assistant agency that helps overwhelmed entrepreneurs get their life back, which just celebrated 5 years in business last October. But what she really loves, traveling to speak. She's taken the stage in Malaysia, now Vietnam. If there's a stage and a crowd eager to learn how to build businesses remotely, she's there. And because she apparently hates free time, she also creates content on YouTube, dominates social media, wins ridiculous amounts of awards, and just published a book 2 weeks ago. But here's what makes her story even more powerful. She didn't just build businesses, she built herself back up. She survived super typhoons, near-death experiences, depression, and crippling anxiety to get here. And instead of letting it stop her, she turned her challenges into fuel to create the life she has now. And today, she's here to teach you how to delegate everything in your business so you can actually live, and how to make AI a superpower for your assistant instead of a bottleneck. Vietnam Nomad Fest, get ready, take notes, and give a huge welcome to Leanne Lacaba.
Thank you, ChatGPT. Isn't that helpful? Just like how literally ChatGPT knows basically everything about me. So then I just literally told her, okay, this is the sequence of the slides. Do it this way. And like, that was it. I just asked it like, hey, go ahead and introduce Leanne. That's how cool and amazing it is. And I basically just delegated that part of my slides to it. So that's what I'm going to walk you guys through, is how to get to that point. All right, so when you guys start out in business, this used to be the old entrepreneur evolution. You start a business, you have an idea, you get your first client, you go ahead and maybe hire your first person, you build the systems, you build it up, you build your team, and then you're called successful. But in reality, it looks like this. You go up and down, you feel like you're going up, but you're actually going down, and you feel like you're going straight, but it's actually the other way. So now that I've kind of been in business for about basically all my life, I've kind of realized that this is kind of the old way. And now, especially with AI, there's a new entrepreneur evolution. And it starts with you having an idea of like, oh, I can sell this, I can do this for other people and make money. So then you start getting your first client, and then you have an assistant. who then will take care of AI, of building up the systems and everything else for you. So what this sequence looks like is, first step is you want to scale yourself, scaling you beyond just you working basically on your laptop, just your hourly. Then you start scaling your systems. It grows beyond you. You can, for me, I've been in Vietnam for like a week now. I have not opened my laptop once because my team and my assistant are taking care of everything else. Then it's scaling your time. So then even when you are running around, going through the beach, things are happening. Money is basically hitting your bank account without you being there. And finally, you can start scaling your business with AI. So I'm going to take you guys through this journey. Ready?
Yes. Ready.
All right. So first step is basically looking. I love this GIF. I've had this for like, I think 3 years as a presentation, just because it is truly what it means to kind of scale yourself. Is you're not the one doing everything on your own. However, for those here who have heard of what a virtual assistant is, most of you, who here has heard AI assistant? Perfect. So basically, I want to do a little bit of differentiation between the two, just a little bit clarity. So a virtual assistant is someone who works remotely, offers a variety of services or skills. So they're a social media VA, someone who is more of your bookkeeper VA, and they could be a generalist or a specialist. They could be someone who is really just working with you, and someone who could be just also working within the business. They can make decisions because they're human, and they can become your second brain. So the kind of virtual assistant I'm talking about isn't your social media VA, isn't your bookkeeper VA, but more of executive assistant, like your person. Like they understand your business, they understand you, they understand your goals. That is the true virtual assistant I'm talking about. Now, an AI assistant is, of course, at least for now, generative AI based. It can automate tasks, it can process large amount of data. Basically, when I was still writing my book, I fed my whole 200-something page book into AI, and it read it in seconds. My assistant, she gave me an update right before this. She's 60% through my book, and I'm like, it's okay, you're amazing in other places, just not at absorbing data. It can also use it to brainstorm, of course. Like a lot of people here who have used it for like, give me 10 ideas for X, Y, and Z, or create my itinerary for Da Nang. And it can create just a lot of assets, just a lot of like text-based or video or audio, whatever kind of assets you want to create out of AI, you can probably find a tool to do it nowadays. Now, the combo or the magic I like to talk about is the kind of the partnership of having a virtual assistant and a really good AI assistant. So then it becomes your virtual assistant second brain. That means you're not the one learning how to use AI, your assistant is, and then they're multiplying their own results with AI. And they can work with the virtual assistant without complaint. I don't think anyone had really like seen an AI complain. It can keep expanding the work with the assistant and keep creating better and better outputs. So for example, for a lot of countries where English are like the second, third, fourth language, they can have perfect English basically using AI. So a few quick use cases for AI assistants. Kiki's somewhere here. There you go. So for Kiki, I created a post-meeting notes follow-up chat AI assistant for her back in Siargao. We did it in like 30 minutes. And every single time that she has a Zoom meeting, she can pop it into the AI assistant and basically creates a summary for her. Another person that I did this with during Vietnam Nomad Fest was we created a standard operating procedures AI assistant. So basically, they had a YouTube video of basically the processes, plop up into the AI assistant, and then goes ahead and creates the actual output for the SOP. So that's kind of the magic of knowing how to create and use AI, and also knowing what to delegate to it. So here are a few more examples. So we have social media copywriter. A lot of people here have used it probably. Email marketer, customer service, HR manager, contract writing, event planner, SEO, consultant, sales messenger, and then newsletter writer. So there's a lot of different ways that you can start creating AI assistants. I just wanted to walk you guys through this and how to combine it with an assistant. SOP workflow specialist. business. Okay, so this is what I call the Scale You formula. So I've been teaching this for, I think, a solid 5 years now, where this is kind of takes you step by step through the whole process. So the first thing is, again, scaling you. So how do you scale you? How do you actually get things beyond you? Well, the first thing is knowing the Pareto principle. Who here knows the Pareto principle? A lot of people. Perfect. So it basically talks about, out of the 10 things you're doing in a day, 2 are actually giving you results. So that's your 80% of your results. And then the rest of the 8 still needs to get done. So what do you do with the rest of the 8? So then the first step, though, is figuring out what is that 20%. So for example, for me, I'm a content creator. Out of the 10 steps that I have to do to basically create one YouTube video, my 2 things are when I show up on camera, when I record, and when I'm promoting it. That's it. The rest, the editing, the creating the scripted video, researching, all that good stuff, my assistant takes care of it. So that you have to just start with what is your 20%, or basically your 25. So you want to find out what are the things that basically, I put it in this quadrant of like how you feel about the task, if you're the expert, if it makes you feel good. These are things that we're really good at that we hate, and then makes you money, that's your 20 or 25%. That's your main kind of your zone of genius. And then anything that you don't feel that good about or not the expert in but still makes you money, that is where your assistant can start focusing. The rest, systematize and delegate or delete. But the point of this is figuring out what are the things that only you can do and start delegating the rest to an assistant. Like I basically used this example already, delegating the rest so then you can focus on just the parts that actually make your business money. Now I do have this giveaway. If you guys go to LinkedIn and just look up my name and chat my assistant, she's live right now, and just say, give me 200 tasks. She's going to send you that PDF. She's very, very helpful. Her name is Honey. You can say, Honey, Leanne sent me here, and she'll be more than happy to send these your way as well. Now that is for the first part of the scaling you. The next step is scaling your systems, which is basically kind of to the point of that gear of like things can keep running even though you're not there. You're not anymore a bottleneck within your own business. So what that can look like is basically you want to document things. You want to write down the tasks, write down how you do it, or record yourself doing it. Do like a Zoom call that's recorded for your team. And then you want to implement. You make sure that it actually, what's written down actually is the thing that's getting done. So you want to test the document. You want to have someone else do the task as well. And then finally on update is make sure that you have kind of a quick quarterly, twice a year, once a year check to make sure that the document is of course still updated. And that's basically the second part of our formula here. The last part is building the loyal second brain assistant. And honestly, this is the hardest part because hiring and delegating and trusting someone basically to become that second brain is one of the hardest things to do. But honestly, it's the reason or the biggest result is that you can scale your time. So what this looks like is you want to build loyalty with your team, with your assistant. And it's not about finding someone who has 10 years experience being a virtual assistant if they're not a match values-wise. It's not about finding someone who is $2 assistant, which they don't exist, and thinking basically that you can make money because they are a little bit of a lower rate. Because they're not building loyalty. You're just getting people who just want to get any kind of job. You're not building that relationship with that person. So what this actually looks like of getting your second brain assistant is you want to look for basically character versus skills versus experience. You want to find people who are a match, who are here long term, and not just here for another project or something that you just want to get done. You want to find what are those ROI tasks, which is why it's important to know what you're going to delegate. So then they are immediately working on things that make you back money and at the same time building that relationship with you. And again, it's honestly just caring about them. They're not an AI assistant, they're a virtual assistant. They're a human person who is there. They have dreams, they have family, they have hopes. So they want to have just an employer who's nice to them. The bar is like really low and I'm short, so I know how low the bar is. So just making sure that you're taking care of them is gonna be a big thing of like building that loyalty with your team. It's basically just asking questions of like, hey, how are you doing? Do you need anything? So then for you, you're empowering them to show up because you're just checking in. And at the same time, if there is a legit bottleneck, they can basically tell you like, hey, this is something that I really want to help with. Like, oh, I need access to this. You never gave me. I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Let me work on that. I'll work on that with you. So that is essentially the first part of it. So this is pre-AI. This is the scale you formula. Is you start with what are your 80-20 tasks? What are the things that you need to delegate to give to someone else? And then you want to build systems around that. So then things can happen without you. You don't want it where you gave like a big task or big project to a team, but all of the processes are in your head. You want to get it out of your head so then someone else can actually do it. And again, building that loyalty with your assistant, with your person. Again, not just another person you're hiring, but your person. Now, the last bit is scaling your business with AI. So what this looks like is looking and creating AI assistants to empower your assistant, your virtual assistant, and your employees. Because of course, AI assistants can be trained in your brand voice and style, just like you guys heard my, basically my speaker, ChatGPT. She knows that I love humor. She knows that I add that sarcasm as well. Constantly learning and improving, available 24/7, scaling to meet your growing business needs, and of course can be created by anyone, even someone within your team, as long as you have created a system to win. Now, I'll do this really quickly. All right, so basically how the Scale You formula works with an AI assistant on the 80-20 tasks basically scales up your assistant. So not just you being scaled up, your assistant's also going to be scaled up. Next is your bulletproof systems, which is basically mapping out your SOPs, crafting those SOPs, and then finally with your second brain assistant, it empowers your assistant to create better output, become a memory keeper for your VA, and a multiplier for your VA's output. Literally, I think 3 weeks ago, I created a Leanne Writer LinkedIn post assistant for my, basically was like, hey, I'm gonna go off to Vietnam. I think we need to create like a lot of posts ahead. And like recently our impressions went up on LinkedIn just because now my LinkedIn posts sound like me, even though it's not written by me. So if you guys go on my LinkedIn right now, the last 14 posts I have not even touched. It's all AI assistant with my assistant, double checking and making sure that it aligns with my voice, but it basically has doubled the output of my own assistant with it. Now, ready to scale yourself with an assistant in AI? Awesome. So guys got the steps basically, and this is the future that I see, is that people are not being replaced by AI, they work together with AI. It's not this big scary thing. It's not this thing that's going to hunt us all down and kill us just because we're the humans who made it, but it really is the thing that will basically multiply what we're doing. If we're a really good copywriter, it will multiply us being a good copywriter. If we're a crappy one, it'll do the same thing. So that's why it's really important that you start learning how to use AI and delegate it. Not you doing it, but then delegating it. Please message me on LinkedIn for the slides and the 200 tasks. My assistant is online and ready to like receive you guys and be able to message. And that's the powers. Like here, I'm speaking. I'm not on my phone or anything, but I have my assistant ready and very, very helpful to be able to get you guys to where you need to go. Also, I'm going to be doing a workshop on Wednesday at 2 p.m. So please message me on Telegram if you guys can find me there. Basically, I'm going to walk you through how to actually hire. So it'll have templates and all the blueprints basically on how to hire online and basically like what interview questions to ask. We'll go through that whole shebang as well on Wednesday. So thank you. Feel free to ask me anything. This was not AI generated. I do know how to do splits.